saw Miami. I know you got plenty of days to prepare, but what are your thoughts kind of looking ahead to Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously an enormous amount of respect, just the way they compete, the way they play. Got a lot of respect for Spo, and I think like probably most teams throughout the course of an NBA season, there's always things you kind of go through as a team,
Right.
and certainly they went through their fair share this year. We've gone through ours with injuries and different things, but it's one of those games where for both teams it's one and done, and it's a great opportunity. The guys I think earned the right to be able to play in the game, and that's a great thing. So I'm excited about it. I think the opportunity, and we talked about this maybe even like right when the season started, to our guys to be able to play meaningful games, and all these games really leading up to this point have been meaningful. So I think it's important and helpful to the growth of our younger players.
And then looking ahead to Sunday, I know you're not going to make any final determination now, and you'll meet with your staff, but there's one side of the argument that says rest guys, put them in bubble wrap, no injuries. The other side would say if they don't play Sunday, they go from Friday to Wednesday without playing an NBA game, which is atypical.
I would
get out of rhythm.
And again, this is without speaking medical. I would expect all of our guys to play because I think that's we need that personally. I think that's too long to be without rhythm, in my opinion. Now, whether or not they play the normal minutes, I don't know, but I can't imagine. And again, hopefully, maybe I got to come back tomorrow and say, "Yep."
We're not holding you anything. I'm just saying, what's your feeling?
That my feeling is they need to play.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. My feeling is they need to play, and how we manage. And again, I think with the medical, they've done a great job, but I think you always got to look at what they've done and what's getting ready to come. But in reality, the game in Wednesday could be the last game of the year if we don't win.
Right.
So we got to throw everything we got into that game. And I do think there is a point of, even if we practice and get up and down, I think our guys, it's going to be the last regular season game to be able to play against a different opponent. So I think that would be important for us to be able to, one, play in that game and to be able to have 2 days before we play again.
Billy, what did you think about Julian and his performance?
I was happy for him. I thought he had played some really good games leading up to this game. He just didn't make shots, but he did a lot of really good things. It was good to see him do kind of the same things he had been doing. But tonight he shot the ball well, and he's a really good worker, and he's very conscientious. He's a good team guy, and I think anytime you see a guy put in work like that and have a game like he had tonight, I was happy for him. And with the injury to Josh, we probably needed a little bit more scoring. It was. You didn't know you were going to get what you got from him tonight, but I thought he did a really good job.
The way that you guys have gone up against Miami and lost Miami the last 2 years in the play-in tournament, does that carry over at all from year to year? I know they're kind of different teams, different rosters on both sides, but do you feel like any of that carries over?
Yeah, I'm just a big believer that each game is its own individual game, its own individual identity. I think what's in the past is kind of in the past. You can take things from games that I think that you can apply going into the next one. But to me, this is totally fresh, totally new, and it's a new season, new year, new team. Everything's new. Surely you're gonna, look at how you played against them the 3 times we've played. Maybe go back, but their rosters changed some, so has ours. So it's not the same exact teams. It's different years and different challenges and different opportunities.
If you win Sunday, you'll have the same record as last year. When you look at that, just how do you reflect on, those journeys were different. And I think going into this year, there's a little bit more uncertainty, just not building around like DeMar, for example. So how do you kind of reflect on that?
And I'm not sure I totally understand the question. And reflect on, in terms of comparing it to last year?
Yeah, going into the season, did it feel like there was some uncertainty to you as well? Zach was in trade rumors. DeMar was gone here. You turned the team over a little bit. Rotation-wise at the trade deadline.
Right.
How do you reflect on the journey of this year, I guess?
Yeah, I think like I said earlier to Casey, I think every year for every team when you're playing 82 games, there's going to be stuff that happens. I really appreciate what these guys have done on a lot of different levels. One, I think to change the way we change stylistically and for them to be committed physically, to do that, I think was helpful. I think I said from day one, if we don't run, we're done. I think we've done a good job of maintaining that. I give the guys a lot of credit for the patience they had at the trade deadline. When we had 3 new players come in and there was uncertainty of what those guys would be traded, and then we're kind of trying to flush all that out and get everybody acclimated. So we went through a lot, but the one thing I appreciated about the group was I think every night they lined up and we made winning a priority. We were trying to win, and we weren't always great, but I thought we stuck together. I thought we competed. I thought we played really hard, and there was some games we fell short, but I think since the trade deadline, I think the brand and the style and how we've played pretty consistently has been good, and I think it's a credit to those guys and what they've been able to do. So, last year's a little bit harder just because Zach went out with the foot injury, Patrick went out. The team was just totally different. Zach had a great year for us. I don't know, it was 50-something games he played. He played great for us. He really did, and he was a total pro and, did everything that was asked of him, and he's always had a good relationship with the guys. So it was almost kind of like 2 different teams. I loved my relationship with DeMar and Alex and, them not being here. But I really, really appreciate, what these guys have done, this year in terms of how they've tried to continually try to get better, as individual players, and they've tried to work to get better as a team.
Bill, you've praised him consistently all season, but one of the holdovers is Vuce, and the way he's closing the season, I mean, he's flirting with a triple-double, 2 straight games here. Just his commitment to this style of play and to the young teams, he's talking about them rejuvenating them. How do you frame kind of his season overall?
I got such respect for him because I think that, and he probably referenced it a little bit during the trade deadline, I think it was a lot. It is just a lot. It's the idea of, okay, I could be moving and picking up. And, for Vuce, he's married, he's got 3 young kids. There's a lot of things that go on into that, right? And when it didn't happen, I give him a lot of credit for totally investing into the team and trying to do everything he could to help the group and help the young guys. And he has had a spectacular year. And it speaks to his greatness as a player, where we were, obviously much slower the last couple of years. And he functioned totally fine in the half court with his numbers and what he did. And then all of a sudden we're playing a lot faster, and he's having another great year. He's just a heck of a player. He's really smart. He's got a high IQ. He keeps himself in great shape. I think he was a big catalyst, with Kobe and the voice of those guys, really every day putting their best foot forward as leaders. And Vuce was a major part of that.
Thank you.
Were you surprised at all at how
Last
well
one.
he's transitioned to the speed of this team, just given his position and size?
He runs a lot better than you think, really straight ahead. He's really good at that, and he's got really, really good endurance. Like, he really works at his conditioning in the off season. He's always in really, really good shape. And again, our style of play wasn't that of playing that way, but he's always in really good shape. So, listen, he's not going to be the first one down the floor. He's not going to be out in sometimes he is, but as a trail big, how we're playing when these guys start to attack and we don't have something then turn to be able to throw it back to him and he can kind of facilitate the next action. It's really helped us, and I think it's really played to his strengths.
During the regular season, now you know who you're playing, so how do you kind of lock in on that?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game, as always when you play Miami. They're a very well-coached team. They're very well prepared. They execute their stuff very well on both ends of the floor, so we're going to have to be at our best. But, that's the case, whoever we're going to play, it's a win or go home. The margin for us is going to be minimal. We're going to have to play for 48 minutes and really be on top of our game. So, it should be a fun game at home. Should be expecting a big crowd. We have to prepare. We'll have a couple of days to really do a good job, but we should know them by now pretty well. And, it's really not going to come down as much to the X and O's as it's going to be to the effort, the hustle plays and all that against Team Miami.
As for Sunday, there's one theory, like put you guys in bubble wraps and nobody gets hurt. Another theory is if you don't play Sunday, you're sitting from Friday to Wednesday. That's atypical for an NBA player. Billy just said he'll talk to medical, but he expects you guys to play on Sunday. What do you want to do?
I'll definitely play. I might not play my full
Right.
minutes, but I'll definitely play. It is a long time from tonight until Wednesday. but the rhythm of we're used to playing every
Right.
other night pretty much and things like that. So sure, I think we should play. So yeah, I think I spoke to Eric a little bit already, and I think we'll definitely play.
Do you feel any added edge or pressure going up against Miami again in the play-in for the third time?
No, I think both teams are very different this year than in the past. Obviously, they have some players that they've had the last 2 times they beat us. We have some players as well, but each season is a new season. But I mean, when you play Miami, for years, how they play, what they run, how disciplined they are, how well organized they are, how they never give up, no matter who's out there for them. We know what to expect. I think most guys here played them quite a bit, and we know what to expect. And we understand we have to be at our best, because of the nature of the game itself, being in the plane and being a team like Miami.
How much do you notice the preparation change for playing playoff games as compared to the regular season when it pertains to like scouting reports, stuff like that?
But it's much more detailed, especially when you get into a playoff series, when you play a team, at least 4 times. So each game you play them, you know them more and more, and you study the guys more and more, their offense, their defense. But even in the plane now, we get Monday and Tuesday to really lock into it in Miami, just put more. You have more time to focus on that team. You try to learn more about their offense, their defense, all the little details, what they like to do, what each player likes to do, how they defend you. Prepare for different scenarios. It's a whole, it's a pretty different, mindset, pretty different approach. Like I said, the margin for error is much slimmer than in a regular season game, because regular season, we scout, we do everything, but it's game after game it's much different approach, and also the nature of the game now is whenever we're home, so we understand all that. It's going to be much more important.
Billy go ahead.
You've still got one more regular season game, but just looking back at kind of the season on the whole, started with Zach here, and then he gets traded, maybe some speculation about you potentially getting traded, and you've really closed out strong, almost back-to-back triple-doubles here.
You had a triple-double?
Almost.
What'd you have?
8 assists.
Maybe if you made a shot.
My bad, man. That's on me. Hey, where are you going for dinner tonight?
Miru,
Miru? What's that?
Asian. You can come if you want.
Thanks, brother.
Just what's kind of the flow of the season felt like to you, just kind of the highs and lows of it, and seeming very reinvigorated now playing at this pace with this kind of younger group?
I think overall it's been a pretty good year for me. I think I started off really strong. And then close to the deadline, I think with everything that was going on, I think it might have let it affect me a little bit more than I should, and I had a little bit of a dip in play. But I think lately I've really been picked up, especially after the calf injury, and I just want to finish strong, go into the postseason, feeling well, again being in good rhythm. But I think that's the case for everybody on this team. I think we've had a really good last month and a half or so since the deadline happened, since All-Star break happened. And it really picked it up and come together, and I think we can feel it. The way we've been playing, the energy we have, the fight we put out there, no matter what's going on. And it's just been a really good, chemistry about this team. You guys have been feeling good, been really supportive of each other, and that's definitely rubbed off on me as well. Obviously I'm the oldest guy by quite a margin here, but I think when you play with with young guys like we have, who really guys that really want to win, they want to do the right thing. I see them work. I see how committed they are. You feed up that too as a veteran, and you enjoy it. So it's been a different role for me, trying to help also some of the younger guys. But it's been really fun. I think the way we play fits my skill set a lot. I do have to run a little bit more than I've had in the past, but it's okay. I still got some miles in my legs.
But Billy was just specifically praising your investment to this team, particularly after that period you talked about, because mentally, obviously, there is a period where you go, I might be playing for the Warriors or a team with championship aspirations. And he said you got past that period, and your commitment to this team down the stretch, he really praised that. How does that make you feel?
Billy, you had a big part in it. I think him and I spoke a lot around that time and after the time, and he really helped me kind of move past it and just focus on what I can control, which is our team here. And so he had a big part in it. And I think at the end of the day, whatever's going on, whatever happens, sometimes it's going to affect you different. And but you have to just find a way to move on and focus on what you can control, and I think I was able to do that. I think also when I got injured and I missed those 7 games, I think it helped me kind of reset and see what wasn't working for me as well. Games that wasn't playing as well, and things like that. And it kind of refreshed me as well. I think it gave me a little bit of rest and also mentally and physically. And since I came back, we've been feeling really good. And I really wanted to help these guys because I just saw how committed they are, how much they want to win, how much they want to get some success here, and I really wanted to help them in that way, and so it's been good, and hopefully we can finish off strong.
What's it like for a Vucevic to guard a Vucevic?
He's a Vucevic with a
Oh,
K.
sorry.
So
Close enough.
close enough.
You talk some Serbian?
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good player. He played well. Good young player. I mean, I've watched him play before too when he played overseas. But a lot of people ask me about the similarity in the last name.
Our game to finish out here, but it's good to kind of know where we're going to be at later on down the line when the time comes.
What did you think of your game tonight, as far as what you were trying to get done, and especially offensively with Josh out?
It was pretty good. Knocking down some shots, kind of active around the rim, getting rebounds and stuff. Just some stuff could have done better, but it was pretty solid though.
Do you have a little more offensive scoring potential in you? I know we don't always get to see that when Kobe and Josh and everyone's healthy, but do you kind of feel like you have that when you get the opportunity?
Yeah, you just want to play the game. You try to train to do everything as a player. So whenever just a situation comes in the game, you can do it. But just reading the game and kind of reading what comes to you.
What do you attribute your jump in 3-point shooting to most of the season? I know it's a lot of factors, but what do you mostly attribute it to?
Just the shooting, just the reps, kind of in the preseason, kind of just focusing on it, and then just keeping the consistent work on it throughout the season. Even when you're missing shots, when you're making them, just keeping that work consistently, and then you have nights like this where they just go in a lot.
Do you feel more confident just in general when you step up to that shot than last
Like
season?
shooting?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely think I can improve from where I was when I first came in last year to this season.